17-year-old Leroy Mwasaru is not unlike most high schoolers. He enjoys blogging, hanging out with his friends, and is a student leader at a school in Kenya. But when the school wanted to build a new dormitory for its students, it faced a challenge: how to deal with the growing human waste problem that was contaminating nearby water sources. That's when Leroy came up with an idea: create a human waste bioreactor that runs on, well, you guessed it, the students' own human waste.
Recently, Maseno School's newest dormitory, which has a capacity of 720 students, was completed. The waste that comes from this dormitory will find its way to nearby springs of water that are the main source of water to this local community. We put ourselves to task to design a human waste bioreactor that will use this waste that comes from the dormitory. For this prototype, we used organic waste. This includes food remain, cow dung, and also slashed grass. What I have here is the amount of waste that's usually disposed every day.
We mix it till it becomes a thick paste mixed with water and all this other vegetable matter. This is some of the cow dung waste that we had put in from the farm. Now when we put this mixture, at least it will enable the bacteria to have some motivation so that they can continue anaerobically.
Once all that stuff has decomposed, it becomes denser and it moves to the lower part of the digester. And then that which is less dense comes up, and that's how you get the gas.
Here we have clean renewable energy.
But now if we have this biogas project, there will be no need for cutting of firewood. The biogas will simply be coming from human waste. Therefore, there will be a constant supply in fuel, and we shall be able to save the trees and in effect save the environment.
The idea and invention has garnered loads of positive press for the teen, and rightfully so. His design has the potential to be a huge economic, political, and environmental game changer, and we're delighted that he's joining us now from Nairobi. Leroy, welcome to Full Frame.
Thank you for hosting me.
Let's get right to it. Tell us about how you came up with this idea.
It was not until I joined my first year of high school in 2012 that the school put up a new dormitory that houses 720 students. So my teammates and I took it upon ourselves to critically analyze and appreciate what the new dormitory had to offer. Apart from the comfortable accommodation that it had to offer, there was something else, and there was a problem that it attributed to. What was this problem? So this problem was we had other old dormitories that were connected to the same sewer system, and the same sewer system during rainy seasons would overflow to nearby streams, thereby polluting them with this waste. So this new dormitory meant more stress on the already stressed sewer system, and also more waste and more pollution on the streams. So something had to be done, and really quick, since nobody wants feces in their water.
So you knew something
Yes.
needed to be done. So how did you come up with the idea? I mean, did you sit there and talk it over with your friends, or was it just the light bulb went on one day and you said, hey, I think I've got a good idea? How did it come about?
Okay, so my friends, my team members and I drafted a human waste bioreactor that could use this waste that comes from this big dormitory that is housing a very big number of students, and also the other dormitories in school, and also that could use organic waste in the school. This includes slashed grass. This also includes cow dung from the school farm, and also food remains from the staff members and also the students.
So when you came up with the idea, when you went to the administration there at the school, were they excited with the idea, or how did they react? Because a lot of times, you know, ideas when they come from somebody who's an adult, they tend to be appreciated more than from a teenager, perhaps.
Yeah, the school was very was very supportive of the idea, in that a club was formed, and we also had a mentor who was attached to us. So in this club we had all sorts of brainstorming, whereby not only us but also other students could come and brainstorm the ideas they have to provide local solutions to local problems they have and local problems that their communities face. Yes.
So you were able to see this idea come to fruition, and it's now in place. What are some of the benefits that you've witnessed for the environment?
Okay, after building my second prototype, I implemented the same idea in our rural home that is in Taita, which is in the coastal part of Kenya. So when we installed this biogas plant, we had a very large volume of biogas being produced, that eventually we had to channel this gas to our neighbors at a very small fee. So in the project lies a very big potential, and it could also be used for lighting and electricity.
So you're talking about the big potential, and clearly it's there. Could you see this being utilized in other schools, other towns? I mean, what's your idea of how far this might spread?
Yes, I have very big hopes for that. I had a woman from the prisons board in Kenya approaching me and requesting for the same idea to be implemented in the prisons board, because currently they have a problem in their waste disposal system. So in it lies a big potential to mostly the prisons board, and also in schools, in that currently we are looking on how we can reduce energy costs in schools and institutions. So by cutting down these costs that we use on non-renewable sources of energy, for example, we have firewood, which at the end of it all causes global warming and also causes climate change. Yes.
I mean, this could be a game changer in many ways, couldn't it? I mean, this has enormous potential beyond Kenya, don't you think?
Yes, I think, because I've also seen my concept being applied in, for example, the pool bus in, I think, England. Yeah, and I've also seen it working, and also we have good examples in Germany.
Teenagers a lot of times feel like, they can't really influence or change anything. If there's young people watching this, what advice would you give them if they have a problem in a community, they want to come up with a solution?
Okay, what I'd like to tell them is that they should always try, even if there seems that there's no hope at the end, because at the end of it all, there is some personal growth that is usually cultivated within him or her, and this, at the end of it all, builds him to be a greater he or she in the specific sphere he or she is championing against.
Well, we've certainly seen some personal growth in you, clearly, through this whole experience, and it's probably taking you in directions you probably never could have imagined. So talk to me about the future for you. You're still in high school, so what does the future look like for you, Leroy? Where do you see yourself going?
So, okay, that's a good question. Currently, I'm about to begin my final semester in high school. So for me, it's getting done with high school first, then seeing on how I can uplift my project and develop it further. Then from then on is where I can join the university. But at the end of it all, I plan to join the university.
One final question, Leroy. It's great whenever you see something like this. Somebody has an idea, then it's executed, and it comes off so well, flawlessly in a sense. But I'm sure there were probably frustrations along the way. Were there ever times where you were discouraged as you were going through this process, or did things go pretty well from the start?
Yeah, we had a couple of agendas, but not all agendas went as we planned. So, okay, some flopped and some went as we planned. Okay, our first challenge was in determining the best material to use for our first prototype. So at the end of it all, we settled at using 2 plastic tanks to build a hydraulic biodigester that we presented at our second camp in Nairobi. Then our second challenge was after putting up our first bioreactor in school, we had a problem, and the problem was my high school mates. Why? Because they quenched their curiosity to see what the prototype was all about, touching it, and sometimes they could end up fumbling with it. So me and my team had to reconfigure it. So I remember one day we had to reconfigure it for not less than 10 times. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you kept at it because that's pretty fantastic.
Additionally, I'd like not to call these challenges because I'd like to not call these challenges but motivations, because it's these challenges that were the stepping stones to us to get a lasting solution and an even stronger solution in our mechanism to achieve greater heights.
I like how you look at things. Leroy, thanks so much, and the best of luck to you as you go on with your future endeavors and on to university.
Thank you very much. Thank you for hosting me.